Babajide, or is it Babjide or Babjide? Believe me, I've heard many versions of my name, and following a tweet that I recently got from a friend talking about how we should handle our names as immigrants, I thought, yeah, let me talk about this on this channel, and I brought a special guest for that,
Christiana.
Welcome back to this video. I'm Babajide Ojo, and believe me, I've heard various versions of that particular name, and my wife is here, Christiana.
Yes, I'm Christiana.
What are the other versions that you've heard so
They'll
far?
say Christina, Christiana. People will even call it slowly, like it's so difficult. And some people will say Christine.
Christine, that A-ish is so hard sometimes to pronounce.
So I've heard a lot of versions from people of different races, trust me.
Yeah, so when I came to the US, Babajide was really difficult for most of them. Most of my colleagues to pronounce. Even when I say Jide, just call me Jide like my friends used to call me back in Nigeria. But usually that Jide is even tough because I will hear Jide, Jide, Baba Jide. So what I decided, and this was all me, what I decided was for my people to call me Ojo. It should be Ojo, that's how it's pronounced, but most people still say Ojo, so I just kind of rolled with that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I feel like it's okay to correct them. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to correct people. But then if they don't pronounce it well the first, second, or third time,
right, then
it doesn't really make sense to keep going. Like, oh, it's Christiana, and then they say Christina, and then you keep saying no, it's Christiana. Like,
right, at that point you are being difficult.
Yeah.
One interesting thing. The reason I really wanted to talk about this topic was, an acquaintance sent me something from Twitter. I'm not on Twitter right at the moment, but it was an old tweet from someone that we both respected, Michael Taiwo. Talking about, I don't know if I sent you the screenshot.
Yeah.
But I can send it to you now so you can maybe read. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to read a portion of it, and I will try to put it on the screen as well. So the tweet went like this: some of you are sabotaging your careers from day one without even knowing. When a colleague, client, or supervisor comes across you for the first time and spells your name wrong or mispronounces your name, don't correct them. Don't correct them in capital letters. Okay? So here was his rationale. So let's face it, our names can sometimes be unique, so it's normal for mistakes to happen. I agree. If you correct them, they will quickly apologize and try to spell it rightly or pronounce it as best as they could. They will do this both out of respect and out of fear of being accused of racism. You will feel good. I've made them spell my name right, but congratulations. You have won the battle, but you have lost the war. And I think he went ahead to give 3 rationales. He said what you have done is you have showed that you are easily offended, and so people should be walking on eggshells around you. Secondly, you just told people to be defensive around you. As such, when people are relating with you, they have their guards up. No one wants to be corrected for the same thing twice. And the last one, this is where I will stop. You just announced that you are here to find racism under every rock and would manufacture it when none exists. So there were a lot of other things that was written. This person sent this to me. I think he took offense to that kind of tweet. At least for the fact that he said that you are going to destroy your careers, doing that. And I think to some extent he has a point. At least at the point where you don't have to be really defensive about your name. It's your name. You have to be reasonable when it comes to when you're trying to work with people. You want to make them comfortable as well. A key part of the way they can be comfortable around you is for them to be able to relate well with your name and not feel bad that they are pronouncing it wrong.
I beg to differ. No. This is it, right? If I don't pronounce their names right, of course they're gonna correct me. You
Yeah.
know this. Like they're gonna come for me. Not like
Come for you. What do you mean?
not like come for me, but like they would want to make sure that I pronounce it well. Let me not say maybe come for me is like fight.
Yeah.
We are not fighting. But like they will want to make sure that I pronounce it right. You know this. In the whatever loving way that they could do it. I mean, I don't know. But they would. But then if I'm, you know, as an immigrant, I'm trying to make them pronounce my name well, and then I'm making them uncomfortable. Like I said earlier, you don't have to go on and on to, you know, to repeat the name and correct them and all of that. I mean, I don't do that. I don't feel like it's right. And then it gets to a point that it makes them uncomfortable, of course. But then I will still do it, like even once or twice. They should know.
At least once or
twice. You know, once or twice is okay.
And even after that, then, some people still don't get it. So what do you do?
It's okay if they, I move on.
What I will do.
I move on. But then why would you say if I correct them at all, then I'm losing my career? Like I don't get it.
Yeah, I
that doesn't make sense to be like I have to still correct them.
But I don't think you would at least in my experience, and I know you've done this before, you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Well, in the industry that I'm in anyway, people try to get your name right in academia, but maybe it's different in industry. This might be context specific as well. So that's why I don't agree with him, because in a lot of cases, you know, that doesn't happen. The fact that you tried to make someone get your name right should not make you lose your career.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you are in a business or in an industry where that would make you lose your career, you probably shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah, and it says something about losing a battle and then losing a war, something like that. It's not even a war. Like we are not fighting. The same way you would want me to pronounce your name right is the same way you know, it's just me asking. You know, we are not fighting. I would ask in a very polite way. I would ask, you know, I won't make you feel uncomfortable in any way. Like, okay, this is, some of them, trust me, some of them will even ask you if they did pronounce it well.
Right.
Some of them will say, oh, Christina, am I right? And then you're free to tell them it's not right.
It's not right.
This is the right pronunciation.
I think the suggestion here is, you know, even if they are not right, you know, just move on.
No. I don't have to move on in the very beginning. Like I can say, this is it. And then if they don't get it on the third time or whatever, I can move on.
Most people try to get it right, and it's your business. It's your business to help them. Try to help them get it right if they want to get it right. But you know, after some time, you have to be reasonable as well. To, you know, it's especially if you are going to be there for example, when I was doing my PhD, I was going to be there for I don't know how many years, and I'm going to move on. So it's not really important to me that you get my name right. But I mean, if you are going to be somewhere for the next 20-30 years, of course, over time, even if they don't get it right at the beginning, over time, when you tend to repeat your names in meetings, presentations, they will eventually catch up to it.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do, which is what most people do, is to, you know, give a short version of your name. So if you are, let's say, for example, Babajide, you can say Jide. one guy, if you remember, one guy insisted on calling me Baba.
You say Baba, and then you told him that you said Baba means father, like don't call me your father, and he started to laugh. You know,
that one is easy. Baba, it's that means father. But he insisted. He was the only one that called me Baba.
Baba, yeah. So I mean.
So let them. You know,
it's okay to correct them.
You don't have to be uptight about all these things. Those are not the most important things. So that's where I think he has a point. You know, you don't have to be really uptight about. You have to get the pronunciation right. I don't think that's
important.
Be
uptight. But then it's okay to correct them like once or twice. And I remember when we moved to Kentucky, the people that we met in Kentucky, they did not have a hard time pronouncing Jide.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was not Jide, it was not
right. So
they just said Jide. So I was like, oh.
So it might be.
We are still in the US.
It might be dependent on the region. So because in Oklahoma it was difficult for people to pronounce Jide, even Jide. So that's why I went with Ojo. And even with Ojo, there was this
They'll still say Ojo.
Ojo. So most people called me Ojo. Even I think I went back last year, and people still call me Ojo. But after we left Oklahoma, came to Cincinnati,
Kentucky
area. People were really comfortable pronouncing Jide, and it was easy. So my own opinion is just you have to conform to whatever environment you are. You don't have to. Like I said earlier, you don't have to be uptight about your name. If you can abbreviate, that's great. We have a friend named Kewe, and he will go by Kev, right? So that's reasonable to me. Even English names, there are a lot of people that have English names that will shorten it. Kevin, Kev. You want that collegial. Part of being collegial is to make people comfortable as well. So if you have a very difficult name, you should be reasonable about what you insist other people to do when it comes to your name.
And I also see on the internet where people would say their names are also very difficult, and we try to pronounce them and then you try to force people to pronounce your names because their names are difficult and you pronounce it. I mean, don't put, because it's easy for you to pronounce it doesn't
mean it's gonna be easy for every other person, right?
Yeah, to pronounce your own name. So it's okay to give people grace. It's okay, even if they're not giving you that level of grace that you give them. It's okay. I mean, with us in Africa, for some reason, I think our tongue is easily twisted. Like, it's easy for us to just see something and try to.
Africa, there are a lot of people. Like I said, I think it's dependent on the part of
the US too. So. Yeah, so it's okay, give people grace, correct them once or twice, and even if they don't get it, just move on. Like, just say, oh, okay, that's okay, that's fine, that's manageable, that's okay. Oh, you did well. It's okay, life continues, but then don't be scared that if you correct people, you're going to be in trouble, or you are winning a battle, or you are losing a race. I mean...
I think, so it has a lot of points, but I think bottom line for me is just be reasonable about your expectations. Of the citizens or the residents or wherever you find yourself as an immigrant. And if you can make it easy for them to cope with your name, why not? And that will just be my advice when it comes to names. So it will be depending on the region of the US or of the world that you find yourself. And certain people will get it, certain people will not. It's not the end of the world. If you correct them, I don't think you're going to lose anything, but even if you correct them, they might still not get it. So you have to move on and get over yourself when it comes to that. I don't think they do it to disrespect you. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's just about, it's a different culture, different name, and it might take some time for them to catch up on the pronunciation. So that's what I would just say on that subject.
Yeah, you said it all. All right, everyone, we have come to the end of this video. Please let us know in the comment section if you'll be insisting that they pronounce your name well, or if it doesn't really matter, like you can move on and allow people and give them grace.
Yeah, what are you going to do in your own situation?
Yeah, and again, write in the comment section whatever topic that you would like us to discuss, with issues going on in the US or immigration or schooling in the US, admission funding and all good stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms at Best Man Academy, and then we'll see you some other time. Bye.